what do you want to do? You want to take us to Atlanta?
Yep. All right. So our next game is going to be on. It's actually we're doing Monday, Tuesday, Golden State, all the way to Friday against Atlanta.
Good. So
Um. So
2 days off.
so
And the good thing is our Tuesday game. Well, both games against the Warriors are at home, so we'll
yep.
get we'll
Before
we'll be
before
at
we're
we'll be at
heading out.
home. Yeah, we'll be at home, and then who knows when they travel to Atlanta? Probably not until like Thursday or Friday. So that's good. Good little, hopefully a good little resting period.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And so um, this game it's going to be a fun matchup. Well, I guess it'll be a fun matchup, but I know a lot of people around the league have already started to kind of get tired of seeing this young guy play. For me, I can't. I'll never get tired of watching him play until it's against us, and then I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm a Trey Young hater. Just don't like the way that he plays, yada yada, right? But um, Trey Young, he's a superstar of this team. He is the the Atlanta Hawk face, right? And I think it's gonna be a fun matchup. I feel like what I always love seeing like DJ highlights, DJ defensive highlights against the superstar young players, right? Because nobody talks about DJ, but they talk about Trey Young, they talk about Luca, they talk about I guess like Donovan Mitchell, right? Like just like those guys, right? And so then seeing DJ get those little pick passes against the young players, right? Not just like the older vets, right? Not just Kemba and like the older guys, but like seeing a young player beat a young player in that sense, right? Like it makes me be like, yeah, put some respect on my point guard's name. So
Yeah.
it's definitely something that like I always like seeing these matchups because I always want to see how much DJ is going to step up to the plate, how much he's going to be ready for this matchup.
Yeah, and he's
And
got a
and
little bit of an advantage with the length. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So hopefully
yeah,
we can
exactly.
disturb him a little bit and not have to as aggressively chase him, because I think that that's where he gets a lot of his contact fouls and all that kind of stuff. So maybe we can rely on our length a little bit to let us get back into those plays and not have to be able to avoid that contact, especially when he does that little backup thing that Jason Kidd used to do all the time.
Ugh.
Chris Paul, that kind of but if we know that going ahead of time, so it'll be fun to see what our discipline looks like defensively.
No,
Mhm.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, I think I honestly like this is a team that I haven't been keeping up with per se. Like um, I try to keep up with a good couple teams, but like this is just a team that like I know they're in the spotlight a lot. Um, especially with Trey Young, like they always get their spotlights, so they're usually a team that I just don't really pay attention to because usually like they'll pop up in my face and then I'm just
Yeah,
like, all right, whatever.
it's easy to see in passing.
Yeah. And so then so like the only things that I could really say is that we just kind of got to watch out for obviously Trey Young, right? We're going to need to watch out for Trey Young. We need to watch out for John Collins. Um and then they're two I really like these draft picks and I wish that like maybe they would have been able to develop on two different teams, but like seeing Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter uh more DeAndre Hunter than Cam Reddish, but seeing them both like kind of like develop from that first year into the second year, like uh those guys are gonna be something that it's gonna be fun to see both of them develop. They both got drafted same year, and they're gonna be growing up together, right? So that'll be
Mhm.
fun to kind of see that this younger Atlanta Hawks team with a couple solid vets in Danilo Gallinari, and Rondo, right? I
Yeah.
I know. For me, it's every year. Like everybody starts to say like, "Oh, Rondo's a little washed, yada yada," right? But it's always the same thing of just like, "All right, well, wait till the playoffs." It's when Rondo always does his. It's when these last couple
Yeah,
years. It's
playoff
always
Rondo, right?
when
Yeah.
Rondo does his stuff.
Or
He
in
doesn't.
in this case, I bet most of his work so far has been in developing Trey Young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly,
So
making him
he's
making him
still,
a
yeah,
better
he's
player. So
exactly, he's still a valuable piece for sure.
yeah,
Is this the window where you can see like their most used lineups and all that?
I'd have to pull that up. You can give me a second, real quick.
Well, it's okay, I guess. I was just curious. I will say, and if you want to do that while I'm talking, that's fine. I will say that I am excited for we were just talking about our guards, but going back to our big man talk with like Trey and Drew. and Yak too. I'm excited to see what kind of work they're going to do against Collins
Clint Capella.
and Clint Capella, because we didn't talk somebody mentioned it, I think it was Josh, against the Houston game, but we didn't really dig that deep into it about the fact that they didn't have Christian Wood. And Christian Wood was a guy who burned us a lot because of his aggressiveness. He's not afraid to take anything. He has the opportunity to take them, and he's young and he's mobile and he's pretty skilled. So I mean, like he diced this up pretty well. So I'm excited to see defensively. Are we going to be able to? Collins is another guy who I haven't seen him play all that much. I definitely know his name because I feel like his name's always brought up in like trade talks with the Spurs, right? Like Spurs fans want Collins, I guess is the thing.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's somebody that I want to target.
Yeah.
Later. That's another topic for another day.
And man, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'll take Clint Capella too. I'll take both of them. But yeah. So I know I've heard his name, but this would I honestly I'm like Jake too. I haven't really watched too many Hawks games. So but I am excited to see. I feel like this is going to be a more of a challenge down low for our big men than Houston was.
Yeah, for sure.
Are we going to be up for the task in that aspect? That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the lineup real quick. All right, so this one right here, this is actually really it was showing pretty much like the starting lineup of Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, Cam Reddish, John Collins, and Clint Capella, and that makes me assume that DeAndre Hunter is out for this game, or maybe he's just out for these last couple games, something like that. Like I said, I haven't been keeping up with them, but you can see in their most common lineups that it was Trae Young, Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, and Clint Capella. And then you can also see like their little bench that they got running. Like they do have a couple guys that have been part of these games. You see that Solomon Hill is getting rotational minutes. Rondo's getting minutes, and I really liked Chris Dunn last year. He's a solid little defensive guard. He can't necessarily shoot outside of the three, but I think like his defense and his solid playmaking ability that he brought to the table wasn't bad. And so to see that he hasn't gotten a single game this year kind of makes me question a bit. But I mean, I guess like it's just what the Hawks are doing, So
yeah, they I would imagine that Rondo came and took his spot pretty straight up, right?
Yeah,
it looks
because they both signed with Atlanta this year. Like this was both their.
Oh, okay. So when you were saying Chris Dunn, who did you see him with last year?
The Bulls.
Oh, okay.
So he was on that young Bulls team, right? And so like when he got signed by Atlanta, like my first thought was like, oh man, that's great. It's like they could either run Trae and Chris Dunn and make give Chris Dunn like the defensive responsibilities that Trae would have, whatever, right? To kind of like hide Trae's defense, or like in this, like he could be the bench point guard and still be able to kind of pick up and just be a solid defender off the bench for them, right? Like I mean, what more could you ask a point guard to do like that, right? Be a defensive oriented playmaker, right? I feel like that'd be kind of like Derek does that well, So
true.
So I was questioning to see like that he hasn't played a game and maybe he will play a game sooner or later, but still like we're gonna be looking to see like if Kevin Huerter's in their starting lineup and stuff, then like they're gonna have some solid 3-point shooting all around, other than like Clint Capella, but Clint Capella is gonna be right there in the paint, and it's gonna be a tough team for us to match up with,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be it'll be. I'm hoping that it'll be a pretty close game. We haven't had too many blowouts. I don't think that we'll have too many blowouts on the good side of like us, like really just like putting it to a team, which is, it is what it is. We're just we're a younger team.
I hope we get some of them things.
No, I mean, I hope that we do. I just, realistically speaking, I can see us in a lot of close games this year. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
they're at like 11-12 or something, right in the middle of the East. We're a little bit over 500, right in the middle of the West. So, like, we're pretty evenly matched. So it'll be a good one. Definitely excited to see. Anytime that we get a chance, like you were saying, Jake. The Atlanta Hawks always seem to kind of get their shine. They get a decent amount of time like floating through the highlight reels and whatnot. So anytime that the Spurs get a chance to kind of latch on to anybody else's shine a little bit, because Spurs have to kind of fight a little extra for any attention that they're gonna get. I have I have Sling TV, right? And it's honestly it's not that worth it. But I was clicking on ESPN last night and I was like, I don't even watch ESPN anymore, except for when I go get my haircut or something. It's playing on a TV. And I was like, let me just put it on here on Sports Center at late night. Let me just see like if they even talk about the Spurs. And they went through like 2 or 3 cycles of their thing, and I was like, okay, it's just not gonna happen tonight. Okay, never mind. We'll move on. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, Victor
You would
Oladipo,
have
we
been there.
got
You would have been there forever, dude.
yeah, I was like trying. I was like,
Hmm.
we got John Wall, we got DeMarcus Cousins, we got DeMar DeRozan, we got like some technical fouls, maybe. I was like, we did so. There's something to throw up there
Yeah,
on the.
there was a close game, right?
And there's a Vassell dunk. We got a couple things going. I was
I
like, come on,
know,
man.
right?
If it doesn't have Lamelo in there, then they're not
Oh
showing.
my goodness, man! Bleacher Report. Those memes on Twitter have been killing me
Yeah,
of
they
just
are
like
kind of hilarious.
everybody trashing Bleacher Report for the Lamelo stuff, and like at first I was on the side of like, yeah, well, he's building a Rookie of the Year case, like just let him be. But then I saw a couple of those things, I'm like, oh my god, Bleacher Report really just gave him a whole highlight because he held somebody down on a jump ball. Okay, all right, Bleacher Report. I was trying to defend you,
It's
but
it's like, what do you expect whenever they hand like the social media rings to kids? It's like
yeah,
that's
like
who they
there's
love. You
a
know what I mean?
there's a
Yeah.
couple of things that like here or there where I'm just like, yeah, that's cool, like that one little there's like a little play where it was at the end of the game, like the Sixers thought they won and LaMelo took it from
Oh,
Joel Embiid and hit
he
that
made a
three.
three.
It was a
Yeah,
5-point game. That's cool. That means that's a highlight that I would, yeah, all right, I'll give it to him because it's like you're showing a
he's playing
young
hard, right?
player,
He's playing hard.
yeah, a
Yeah.
young
Yeah.
player playing hard to the end of the game because he knows that there's a chance to win still. And well, all right, they did it. Or they didn't win, but like, that's fine. That's a cool little highlight. But like I said, that jump ball play where he's just holding Shake Milton down and jumps up for it, it's like you don't gotta show that, Bleacher Report. Like, come on now.
Hmm.
Um, and then
If they're framing it correctly, like in a meme kind of way, or like in a kind of poke fun kind of way, then I think that's all right. But
well,
No,
it's the
man,
point. It's
they're
it's
praising
a
that guy.
it's the fact that they're giving him like a lot of media attention. And there was another meme the other day that I saw of I don't know if y'all know that it's like the one little thing of Andy from Toy Story dropping Woody saying I don't want to play with
yeah,
you anymore.
it was
Going
Zion,
Zion,
right?
right? Going
Yeah,
Zion.
and so it was Zion, and it's like, Bleacher Report to Zion after LaMelo. I don't want to play with you anymore, and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff that kills me, man. Those are
It's
hilarious.
it's funny too, like as you get older, and Jake, you're old enough to already kind of start to see it too. But like when you pay attention to the league for like long period of time, you do start to see the sways, right? Of like
Hmm.
who the NBA is putting in their center, who is like right in their 100% in their good graces, because people always talk about like superstar calls and stuff like that, but it's like you have like the LeBron calls and then you have like the Steph calls, but when they play together against each other, you see who is really in the in the good graces
Hmm.
100%, right? So yeah, it's cool it's crazy to see like those switches as you move through. Uh, um, It'll be good. It was to be honest, man. I remember the days when it was like 2014 and going into like 15. I was like, oh my god, like Kawhi Leonard's finna start getting some superstar calls. What is this? You're like, this is gonna be so good. And then obviously we know how that turned out. But all
They
right,
they
well,
had to make a whole rule for that guy, man.